Welcome to Clay's Cortex.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to the next episode of Clay's Cortex, the podcast. This is actually episode number 18 and episode number 2 of 2020, and it's January 2020. I'm sitting here in Woodinville, Washington, inside the kiln at Curtis Clay Training. I'm looking outside, and this week we've had snow, right? 10 to 14 inches probably accumulated, pretty wild, right? So getting here, shoveling snow, getting up the hill here to the kiln, getting out of our neighborhoods is pretty wild here in Washington. So on the other side of the mountains, not the east side, but the west side. Or sorry, the east side, not the west side. But I'm excited for today's episode. It's going to, I post on Instagram, right? So if you don't follow me on Instagram, check it out, Clay's Cortex, C-L-A-Y-S, and then Cortex, like your brain. You can also check me out on YouTube. I go on Twitter too a little bit, not a whole bunch, but you can check me out on there. On Instagram is probably the main one that I use, posting what's coming up this week. And if you checked it out, you saw that this week's episode is about how to exercise for life, or exercise for life. And we're going to talk about today the benefits of that, right? What are some of the benefits? Now, we're seeing with research, or I'm seeing here, people are putting out research and about how exercise is good for your brain, right? It helps with your mental health, helps with your cognitive ability to learn, to communicate, to keep your brain health and less foggy and so forth. And other benefits it helps with, which is your nervous system. It also helps with your joints, right? We know that. So with joints, you've got to move them, right? So we've got to move the joint to lubricate it, right? So we warm up, like, oh, I feel a little bit looser, right? Without a good stress or movement to those joints, we can't release, or synovial fluid won't be released, which can't keep the joint healthy. Then with muscles, right, which is kind of like the basis of like what I do here, what we do here at Curtis Clay Training. Muscles, you use it or you lose it, right? If you don't use those muscles, you start to lose the capacity of strength and so forth. And as we get older, we lose their ability to gain muscle, right? Or keep it functioning well, especially power capacity. Our power capacity to move fast, contract fast goes down. But if we can maintain an exercise for life, it can be helpful. Now, I'm excited. It's episode number 18. But what's changed with me actually? We just had a baby. My wife and I just had a baby. He was born December 22nd. 22 is a big number for me. I won't really get into that, but he was born December 22nd. He's healthy. Mom's healthy, and yeah, man, he's just chilling, right? So his name's Honor. He's a little boss. He makes some really funny faces. I forgot how small babies were. And if I didn't exercise, I don't know if I could prepare to all those positions. I got to hold him and burp him and be agile when changing his diaper, right? So I train, right, to be a solid parent, changing diapers, crawling on the ground. But I digress. Anyways, let's get into this. So what I'm going to talk about today is the exercise process. It's January 2020. People want to, or they're like, oh, it's January 1st. I'm going to start my new fitness goals. I'm going to go on this journey to get my body in shape. And yeah, I'm going to fit into my clothes better. I want to look jacked. I want all these different types of things, which is great. You should go after those goals, right? Target those goals. Put your eyes on them and go after them. Now, I'm going to talk about the process. If you're starting this process, or you want to progress better through this process of exercising for life, right? Because exercise, it's a process, right? So, and it takes time, right? It's just like investment, right? So when you invest money, it builds interest over time. And the cool thing is if you diversify your portfolio, you've got money in being acquired in different aspects. And the exercise can do that for you too. Doing strength training, doing yoga, doing all those different types of things. So I'm talking about the benefits of exercise for life. So I'm going to come at it from a two-pronged approach. I'm going to talk about it from somebody that's going to go on this journey by themselves, which is probably most people, right? And then also what I would recommend is hiring somebody that is a professional, an exercise professional, that's their job, and using them as the person to help keep you consistent and on your journey, right? So a couple things I want to talk about first. If you're going to start this journey, you've got to be consistent, right? 1 day a week, 2 days a week, some type of activity during every single day is great. Doesn't mean it has to be strength training or structured exercise. It could be a walk, it could be swimming, it could be going on hikes, it could be staying active, playing golf, maybe walking the golf course versus riding in the cart, which isn't always the funnest, because sometimes riding the cart's fun, but so forth. So we're going to talk about that two-pronged approach if you're going at it by yourself or if you're going to hire a trainer, which I would recommend. Now, I'm going to start with hiring the exercise professional, trainer, strength coach, or whatever the person is they title themselves. You have to interview them first. I'd recommend that, right? Doing a consultation. My last post I talked about, this was kind of a call to arms for exercise professionals about, to take on the client or to not take on the client. They need to know some stuff about them, right? And I recommend that the trainer or the exercise professional should do a consultation for free first to see if you as the client or the person that's starting this process and the trainer are a good fit. And if that person believes they can deliver what you're looking for, right? And you've got to come up with you have to come up with that criteria of what you're looking for. So I would do a consultation. When you go in the consultation, you're going to ask some questions to the trainer, you're going to tell them your goals, and you're going to listen to them talk and so forth and so forth. But there's some things you've got to figure out first. What do you want out of your exercise professional? Do you want somebody that's going to give you 24/7 access to them? Because some trainers do that. Do you want somebody that's going to just help you with programming? Do you want them to have a college education? Do you want them to be certified in a certain area, right? You've got to figure out essentially what's important to you, right? And some things outweigh others, right? Like, does this person have a certification, which I believe my friend said is very highly qualified, makes them highly qualified, and that's what I want. Is that something that you want? You got to figure out those things. Now, the beauty of that is once you say you find that person of like, hey, they're going to take care of my body, I'm going to work with them, I would hope that they do some type of assessment with you. Now, the assessment doesn't need to be a dog and pony show or a frills like, oh my gosh, all these exciting things. The point of the assessment is to help them figure out what you need to work on. And the beauty of working with a professional that does assessments, I would ask them that question. Do you do an assessment? What does it look like, right? What does it entail? That should be done in the consultation. But you got to figure out, okay, with this assessment, they're going to build a plan for you to help you on your journey to exercise for life. Now, the beauty in that is, say for example, I bought a car, right? Which actually we just bought recently because we had another kid. Buy the car, right? They check it out. The car is running really well. And then say I just don't bring the car back in and get it checked out ever again. Nobody does that with their car. If you look at your body as a car that's made of parts that operate as one, you still need to bring it in to check in. And that's why I think hiring an exercise professional is super crucial with that. The guys here have gone through the course here, Muscle System Specialist course, and it's a great tool and or thinking capacity to check in on somebody's body, their muscular system, their joint systems, everything to see how they're doing and how they're operating with their body. So that's the benefit. I would have an exercise professional there to do a check-in with you. They'll do the assessment, they'll have baseline with you, they can reassess you to see as you're going through this movement journey how you're doing. How's your body doing and how are you operating? That's a benefit, I believe, of hiring an exercise professional. The same thing we do, let me give you a couple of other examples. We do it with the car mechanic, right? We do it with our doctors. We go in for our doctors to get our checkup, right? We go to the dentist, right? I use the dentist a lot. We go to the dentist, they check in, they do the x-rays of your teeth to see how they're doing. They may do them again. They may check the health of your teeth. They check in on a regular basis because we use our teeth every single day. Like I'm using them while talking right now, right? Well, my mouth, but we talk, right? So the beauty of having somebody that's an exercise professional that can do that and check in on you, if you hire them, they can essentially check or catch something before it pops up. Like, oh wow, you're kind of moving kind of funny right there. Or you can go to them and say, like you do with the doctor, hey, whenever I do this exercise, I've been doing it, or whenever I'm walking, I'm getting this weird, my hip gets really sore. The other one doesn't get sore, but my right one gets sore. Okay, interesting, let me write that down, check in. If they can take care of your muscular system or help guide you on that journey, you can exercise for life, right? You've been working on your own, you check in with them, great. Then you can take care of your body. That's the huge benefit of hiring a professional, okay? I think that that's a crucial part, right? Because if you're gonna exercise for life, you need somebody to check in with you, right? And you wanna get checked in, hopefully. So you know, like, oh, I'm doing these areas really good, or say you're not doing very well with a certain exercise or whatever it may be, and you wanna do, learn how to do a new exercise, or am I doing this correct? They can check in with you and help educate you. Now, I'll tell you right now, the benefit of having a certified muscle system specialist, they can check in on your whole system, help tell you what type of contractions and so forth, right? And so I'll put a link in the notes of where you can find these people that are certified. I think that a certified muscle system specialist, when it comes to this exercising for life thing that I'm talking on this podcast, they're gonna be like a dentist. They're gonna be like a doctor for your muscular system. You're gonna check with them on a regular basis, and it's gonna be like, how am I doing? What's going on? What do I need to be careful of? Okay, I've been doing these activities. They're gonna be something that's gonna be at the, like, everybody's gonna have a certified muscle system specialist to check it on their muscular system, just like everybody has a mechanic, has a doctor, has a dentist. I'm projecting that out. That's a little bit of a tangent, that's okay. Now, back to the first step. You need to be consistent, right? You've got to make sure you're consistent. And if you're working with a trainer, they should help with the assessment, figure out what's a consistent program that you can do. How many days a week? What are some days you want to work with me and then work out on your own and so forth? Finding that way to be consistent is crucial. Now, let's go back into that. For you to be consistent, let me talk about the stat I found. When people start January 1st, they go to the gym, they get a gym membership. All the gyms know it, right? They give you a deal. 0 down, you get to join. It's a free, no initiation fee. That's when they get people, right? Now, the goal of essentially gyms, from my knowledge, is that they want you to sign up for that package and get their monthly payment, but if you don't come in, they don't really care. They're getting paid, right? Now, the average run rate of a new client that comes in January or any time of the year to when they stop coming in is 6 weeks. And I was like, when I saw that stat and I looked up again, it's 6 weeks. People go, they start January 1st, 6 weeks later, middle of February, they're done, right? They're like, I can't go anymore. You've got to find a way to be consistent. So let's talk about that. Whether you're hiring a trainer or exercise professional or by yourself, you've got to find a consistent schedule that works for you. If it's 1 day a week of strength training, do that. Start there. And you might start to be like, I really like this. I like the benefits of this. And you might add a second day. And then you keep going, you might add a third day. And then you're like, based on my schedule, 3 is good. Great, good job. Stay consistent with that. If you can stay consistent with that throughout life, it's going to make a massive difference. Think of it like investing. If you're consistent with your investing every single year, you're going to have a good retirement account, right? Think of that with your body. Every time you exercise, it's like a deposit into your health account of how your body moves. So find a schedule that is consistent for you. If it's once a week, great. Now, back to that 6 week thing. The reason why I believe people drop off is because they go 100%. They're going full, head to the wall. I'm going 5-7 days a week. I'm gonna work out, and all of a sudden, they're like, I'm so sore. I don't like this feeling. I can't move. I can't do things I want to do, because then people say, get past that soreness phase. You'll be good to go. Well, maybe you don't have to go through that soreness phase. Maybe you are dosing it too much, right? Because we here at Curtis Clay Training view exercise as medicine, and it can do some amazing things. Our bodies are highly intelligent, right? So if you look at it as medicine, I've got my daughter, she's 2, right? And say, for example, I, as a 32-year-old, went through a growth spurt, right? I had growing pains, and my daughter, she's obviously going through growing pains. And say we're gonna take Tylenol to help those growing pains. There's no way that I would take the same amount of Tylenol as my daughter. And obviously, if kids, Tylenol, so forth, so forth. But if we were to go that way, we wouldn't take the same amount because I weigh more than her, I'm bigger than her, and so forth. So look at exercise that way. If you're just starting out, treat exercise with dosing it with a low amount. Don't do as much, right? Maybe work out 30 minutes. Maybe you're only gonna do 5 exercises. Whatever it may be. And that's what I think the beauty of hiring an exercise professional is. They can help you figure out where you need to start, how much do you need to dose, right? Which I think is crucial. Now, look at it as medicine, right? Control how much dosage you take in. More isn't always better. More exercise isn't always better. And we just see with that 6 week stat, people drop off, right? Because they're not consistent. They drop off because they're so sore. They're going every single day. They're like, I don't want to go to the gym for 30 minutes or an hour every single day. I'm so used to blah, blah, because you're adding in something new to your life, right? So find something you need to be consistent with and dose it lowly. Add a little bit more each week. Add a little bit more every month, right? Maybe every month you're like, I'm gonna go a little bit longer. I'm gonna add another day. However you wanna go about that. And that may ebb and flow. Look at your exercise journey throughout life like a continuum, right? Like we just had Christmas, right? We always had Christmas season and New Year's, right? Or Hanukkah, if you celebrate Hanukkah or Kwanzaa, whatever that may be. We're really busy during those times with family events, presents, Christmas trees, that kind of stuff. You may not work out as much during that time, but try to be consistent, right? Maybe you're going 3 days a week and I can only get like 2 times a week or 1 time a week during that time frame. Great, that's okay, and then pick it back up afterwards, right? Maybe you go on vacation. Go on vacation and just chill out. Then that goes back down. Look at it as a continuum, right? It's like a nice, easy wave. It's up and down. It kind of goes, but keep some level of consistency throughout, okay? Now, you've got to be consistent with, obviously, your food. I'm not going to get into that. Your sleep. That will make a big difference, too, because how you recover outside the gym is going to make a big difference in your journey and what you're doing in the gym. Now, I've just talked about essentially hiring an exercise professional or trainer. That's, I think, the best route to go. I will also link a video in the show notes of this that you can click on that will take you to a YouTube video that I did about interviewing your trainer and figuring out what are some important things that you need out of your trainer. Because if you trust that person, you're going to be ready to go. If you're kind of hesitant, you don't think they're very quality, or you're like, I don't know, I joined this gym and this is the bunch of trainers I get to pick from. I guess that one's the best, or you try all of them. Interview your trainer so that you can make a better decision up front. Now, if you're going on this journey by yourself, which is most people, right? I'm an exercise for life and keep my activity levels up for life. That's most people, which is great. Props to you. Keep going. That's how I started. I didn't have a trainer until I got to college, right? I had a strength coach. Even in junior college, I didn't have one. I did my own research, that kind of stuff, and I did some boneheaded stuff in the weight room that I look back at now, and I was like, oh, well, then I learned and got educated. But if you're going at it by yourself, I want to encourage you, back to the first point, find a schedule that's consistent for you, right? Be consistent, build that up over time. Secondly, and this is also for the other people, and hopefully your exercise professional can help you with this and being smart about how you move in the weight room. Because we all know, right? I did a podcast with Xavier on intention and exercise here at the Kiln, and he talked about the quote he said was, the weight room, it can be a dangerous place, right? And he was kind of laughing, but he was serious because it can hurt, like weights can hurt you, right? Like, let's be honest, if I drop a weight on my foot that's 50 pounds, it's probably gonna hurt my toe. I can do something inadequate that my body can't handle and I can fracture something, right? Or get hurt or whatever it is. Like, I tweaked something or heard something pop. So if I was to use an example of this, when you're going to work out, slow down. What's the rush, right? We talked about exercise medicine. It's not about how much you can pack into that hour, right? It's about how quality of a movements can you do and maximize your time under tension working out. Let me give an example of that. If you're watching this on YouTube, props, I'm not going to demonstrate the exercise. I'm going to keep sitting here, but I'm going to talk through. Everybody, I'm hoping, regularly sits on the toilet. Whether you're a guy, obviously girls, if you sit on the toilet once a day and you do your thing, okay? You know what I'm saying? So if that's the case, we all know what sitting down and standing up is, right? Or even in a chair. I'm sitting in a chair. Sorry, I should probably use that. Anyways, sit in a chair, get up out of a chair. Sorry, that was kind of awkward. Anywho, if that's the case, right? When you're going down to sit in the chair, you don't just fall into the chair. That's not what you do. You ease into it, you find out where the chair is, where the end point is, and go down. So if I relate that to driving, most of us drive, and hopefully if you're a teen listening to this, you will drive one day. When you are in driver's ed or you start driving a car, you don't ram into a parking spot if there's a curb there. You don't ram into the curb or the wall and then back out of that position. What you do is you pull into that parking space, you slow down, and you precisely pull into that parking space. And then when you go to reverse or leave, wherever you say you went to Chipotle or whatever it is, you back out, you turn the car on, you hit reverse, you back out slowly, then you go about your way. Look at the exercise that way. When you are doing an exercise, whether a push-up, we just use the squat example, or sitting in a chair, think about it this way. You're gonna come down and sit into that squat like you're sitting in a chair. You're gonna sit into there, but you're gonna park that car. Like you're precisely finding where your car needs to park. And that's how low you'll go. And then you're gonna shift gears and go into reverse and back out really easy. And then go up to the top. And you may speed up through the middle, right? And then back to the top. Even at that top position, imagine there's 2 parking spots. You're gonna then at that top position when you're standing, you're about to go down, ease out of that position, come back down, ease and go back up. So if that makes sense, you wanna ease into the ends of your motion. Slow down a little bit. Feel the muscles do the work. Don't just think, I'm doing 10 reps, I've got to do 10 as fast as I can. Slow down. If you're not doing one quality rep, it doesn't matter. Reps really don't matter, right? Because say, for example, let me give you another analogy. If I'm going to do 10 push-ups and I go as fast as I can and those 10 push-ups take me, let's say 30 seconds, right? Great, I did 10 push-ups. But say I'm gonna do push-ups, but I'm gonna do it the exact same way. I may only do 3 reps, but my time under tension is the exact same of how long it took me to do. It might take me 30 seconds to do 3 push-ups, but I'm under control. So my key point with that is when you're exercising, especially for life, slow down, right? Let your muscles do the work. And I'll tell you right now, your joints will thank you, right? Because when people's joints start to go, because people's joints go, right? We're made of materials, we do break down. But if you can exercise more intelligently, you can then exercise for life and get all those benefits of exercise. Blood sugar level maintained, your brain health, cognitive health, your joint health. And we know that it helps our entire body, our entire system. If we can take care of our body for life, we can do a lot more things, live longer and so forth. Like we all know, like it's not that I don't need to make a public service announcement and say, hey everybody, exercise is good for you. We know that, right? We know that, but why don't we do it more often? I think it's because we need to be more educated about what we're doing and realize, hey, what's something I can do to be consistent with my exercise program? And not feel bad about myself for not doing it every single day, not doing strength training 7 days a week. What's something I can do? What's the amount of dosage I can do to take care of my body for life? Now, with the whole hiring exercise professional, I would hope that they would do those things with you. Slow your movements down, teach you how to do certain lifts, right? That's why you're hiring them to check in on you. Hey, Mrs. Jones, when you did that lunge, you were kind of falling or wiggling all over the place. I need you to think about creating stability, staying stable, going down under control, and control your body. And that's what they're there for, right? To help coach you, right? Now, that's what I think is the best solution, is to hire an exercise professional, but you got to interview them first and vet them. And check the video out on YouTube, it'll talk about that. So with that being the case at Exercising for Life, obviously you guys can tell that I believe, and we believe here at Curtis Clay Training, that exercise is crucial to maintain your health of your entire system, not just your muscles, not just your joints. It helps your organs. It helps obviously your heart, right? So circulatory system. It will help you for a lifetime, right? Because if you can take care of your body, you can do more things. And if you can do that on a regular basis, you're going to move better, which means you're going to feel better, because there's a correlation between how well you move and how you feel. So hopefully this is like part 1, right? So hopefully this episode helped encourage you guys or give you guys some tips of what to do to take care of your body as you're starting this exercise journey, or how you can do it for life if you're already in it. So if you got any questions, please reach out to us. Reach out to me. You can message me through Instagram, Clay's Cortex. You can also look at Curtis Clay Training _the Kiln. Reach out to us on there. And yeah, so if you guys got more questions, let me know. I'll probably do another progression of this and how to think about this when it comes to cardio, strength training, and so forth, how to vary those things. But this is episode number 18 of Clay's Cortex, the podcast. Check it out on Instagram. You can also watch this on YouTube. Go to Podbean to listen, or if you've got the Apple app or podcast app, check it out on there. Just search Clay's Cortex. Thanks for listening, guys. Curtis Clay, signing out.
Welcome to Clay's Cortex.